and it went where things go. Hey, welcome to the shop. Don't mind me. Thought it'd be a really fun project to make one of these little antler mounted ferro rods. You know, the fire sticks, the fire steels. And so I had this old piece of antler hanging around and I said, hey, why not? This is what we came up with. I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, for this project we're going to need a couple things. First thing, you're going to need some ferro rods. I managed to pick this up off of Amazon. There's 10 pieces. I think it was about 15 bucks. I'll put a link in the description. But these have a, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it has actually has a lanyard hole in them already. So you need your ferrocerium rods. Next thing you're going to need an antler. And you're going to need an antler of some piece that is going to have a large enough diameter here so that when you drill your hole, it actually fits in. Alright, then you're going to need, I've got a piece of brass here. This is actually a piece of toilet hardware, but it's brass, and we're going to use that as the pin that we're going to use to go in through the hole in the antler to help secure it. And then we just need 2 drill bits. We've got a 7/64 drill bit, and this is just for the pilot hole when we drill it into the antler, right? Just to get make sure you center and get it started. And then we actually have here a 5/16 drill bit, which matches up with the size of the ferro rod. So, then of course you need a drill or a drill press and a saw of some sort so that we can cut the antler. We're going to make a couple cuts and get the piece that I need. Now it needs to fit this piece of ferro rod. So I need to make sure that when I cut this, I leave enough of a diameter here that I can get a 5/8 hole down the center. So let's cut it up. There, so now we've got the piece that's going to be our handle. And it's hard to tell with the camera, but we'll get, this will go in there like that, and we'll have a piece look like that. Okay, now kind of comes the tricky part. Got our antler, and we've got our ferro rod. Now this ferro rod comes with a hole in it already. What I want to do now is I want to drill down the center of this antler far enough so that I can seat this rod in there, and then I will drill another hole that matches with the hole that's in there so I can drive in a pin, and that way I'll never have to worry about this rod working loose as you're striking spark on it. So the tricky part's going to be making sure this sets straight up and down so the drill bit doesn't wander off and end up punching out the side. But I'm going to drill a pilot hole first with this one, and then we'll follow it up with this. Now you can do it by hand. I'm going to chuck it in a drill press and do it that way, because in a drill press I can make sure that everything comes straight down and I don't have to worry about wandering as if I had a hand drill. If you've got a hand drill at home, you use what you have, just go slow, be careful. Like I said, about that far down, just enough so I can pin it, and we're done. There. Got a nice little hole there now. Doo-doo. It should fit right in there nicely. So now we're almost done. All we have to do now is drill this pin, and that'll fix it. So what we'll do is we'll put this in here. Turn a little bit. What I'm looking for is, see how it's, oh, it's hard for you guys. Let's try that. It's kind of got that dust here. So now I can lay it on top of the bone, top of the antler, and I can mark that hole. How about that? That's probably a little bit better. And then we can drill that final hole and put a pin in. And if everything works out right, this should all line right up. It does. So the next step and the last step in this process, one of the last steps, is we want to make a pin to go through that hole. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to come in, I'm going to put the piece through, and I'm going to leave, I don't know if you can see that, I'm going to leave a good nub, about 1/8 of an inch or so sticking out. Take a pair of side cutters, and I'm going to come in at about the same distance. I'm going to cut that. Might seem a little long, but this rod is actually a little smaller than the diameter of the hole, so I'm going to have to peen over a much larger nub, so to speak. Okay, so now we've got our brass pin that sticks out a little bit on each side. Okay? Now we'll go over to the anvil and begin the peening work. This is where you got to take your time, because if you hit it too hard, if you're not careful, you end up smashing the antler, and then there goes 45 minutes of work. And if it was a really nice piece of antler, it'll make you cry. Alright, I won't bore you with this. I'll peen ahead over, and then we'll switch back over when I get the other side. Okay, so you can see here, I managed to peen that over enough now to where it won't pass through the hole. It will pass through on the other side, which is okay. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten this up a bit. I think that's up just a little too high, and it's not going to peen the way I want it to. Okay, so I snipped that down a little bit more. Now we should be able to peen it home. Okay, and so there we have it. And we got us a antler mounted fire rod.